demo combining Terraform to create the infrastructure. And on top of that infrastructure, we are going to see we will take a very simple example of just to have a overview of just to see how Ansible works along with Terraform. Okay, so let me start. Let me share the screen. Please do let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. So I will try to quickly go through uh, the remaining slides, and then we will come to the demo part. Okay, so what we see is we have discussed all these things that playbook is an organized structure of the various tasks that we execute in doing our job. So is the screen a bit smaller? I see the screen. Size. Okay, let me make it full screen. Are you being able to see it clearly?
Yes.
Okay, this we have already explained the previous day. So better I will move ahead. Now this is a simple playbook. So the name, this is the script, the file that you are going to, like in Terraform, you have a script file with the with ending with .tf. So it is also a script file in Ansible, but that will end with a YAML. YAML is either YAML or YML, whichever you prefer. Okay. So it's a YAML structure. You will see that, as I told you, this is a JSON structure. You see, this is a JSON structure. Okay. Uh, JSON is JavaScript object notation. Over the internet, we are not using, uh, you know, the XML. XML was very popular earlier days. Nowadays also, now also it is popular, but it is very cryptic, very cumbersome to use. It's a bit puzzling. It is a bit, and it's quite lengthy. So it was replaced with a YAML structure, and in this we have the data structure in form of JSON. Okay. So when you say JSON, you will, or YAML, this is basically the format is YAML. This file is called a YAML file, YAML. It's a yet another markup language, or simply YML, all in small letters. So in any file name, so a file name, whatever the name, it's up to you, and you end with a small YML or YAML, whatever suits you. So immediately Ansible knows that it's this is the desired file. Okay. And any YAML file will start with 3 dashes. 3 dashes means this is one block. So I will say that this is one block of script. This is one block. How do you know? This is just a comment entry. This is, you start any YAML with this particular, this is an array structure, array. It's a collection of data. And this data is nothing but a JSON format. So this is the key. This is colon, and this is value. That is called as simple as that. So if I have to represent my name, Debasis Pal, so I will say, so my first name is the key, colon, and then I can put within double quotes This is the value, this is the key. And the last name, these are all camel casing. Anyway, and PAL. So whenever I would like to refer to PAL, so I will refer to the key. This key, I will get the value. I will refer to the first name, the variable, the key. I will get the first name. So similarly, I'm saying the name is the name of the, what is that? What does it mean? What is that key referring to? The name is a simple play. So it is the name of the play. Because you know the playbook is consisting of multiple plays, right? Multiple plays. Play 1, play 2, play 3, whatever. And each play will have tasks. Task 1, task 2, that way. So whenever we start with any playbook is the start of the play name. This is one play, a simple play. This is the hosts. We will discuss about that. This is the host means where I want to connect to. What is my slave or what is my node? Where I want to execute that play. So, and what is the user that I'm going to use? So it can be root, it can be Ubuntu, it can be any user that was created on the remote host. So you are connecting to with that particular user. Become, that means you want to yes, means you want to get a pseudo privilege or the privilege of a root user. Yes. And become method is always pseudo. So you want to use the super user privileges of root of Ubuntu. Become user, yes, you wish to desire to be the root user. And what are the tasks? This is the first task, the name, and this is the another. So there can be multiple tasks, as I told you, multiple tasks. Multiple tasks. So there can be hundreds of tasks within this one play. And there can be several plays. So can you see the structure? The key colon value and separated by two spaces. So dash, two spaces, name, whatever. This is two spaces from the left. That is the YAML structure. Task. This is the main task, or rather the clause, the key. Under that, there is a sub key. This is the main key, under which there is the sub key. Okay. And again, this is the value. So if I say the tasks consist of two tasks, or rather subtasks. So represented by the name. So just the name, the logical name of the particular task. And this is, can anybody tell me what is this? The action that you are going to take. This is nothing but, can anybody tell me? We have learned that you want to do some particular task, some actions. And that can be only performed through, what is that called? Service is a module. Module. Very good. Fantastic. The module. It is not plugin. It is not anything else. This is a small code automatically given by the name service that is inbuilt within the library of Ansible. We will see, we will install Ansible. Okay. And you will see that all the almost 750 plus modules are inbuilt within the installation of Ansible. So one of them is service. Name is not a module. Name is just a name of the task, name of the play, the label. Name, you can say name is equivalent to label. Service is another task. So there are so many other modules. I will come to that. But any questions from this? This is one single. How many plays are there? There is only one block of code. So the entire thing becomes one block. It is not a code. It is a script. The declarative script, what you want to do. Here, the task is we actually wanted to install HTTPD. HTTPD is something like, what is HTTPD?
Web server.
It is on any Linux other than Ubuntu. This is considered as, so for any Red Hat Linux, it will be your Apache web server is nothing but HTTPD. But when you are using Ubuntu as your operating system, then you have to mention name equal to Apache 2. We will use Ubuntu Apache 2. So we are trying to install a service by the name Apache 2 or HTTPD, and it will be enabled as true. So, and the second task will be to enable the service. So you are enabling the service SSHD. So now you are making this up. We will come to that. So in these two modules, we have actually installed, that is a task, installed Apache web server onto the host. This is the host. And also started the service Apache. Okay. So basically we are putting Apache or installing Apache with the help of Ansible script to be installed over the host. This is the host. Any question? No question. So this is a simple, very, very simplest playbook. Then there can be multiple plays. Can you see? Can you see? This is one play. And this is starting with a, you see, this is one block starting with a dash, the array. This is one block number 1. This is another array, another block with starting with a dash. So this is the structure of YAML, block 2. Each block is one play. Each block is one play. Can you see there is another play? So therefore there are this particular play by the name first play is having one task, and this particular thing is having one play having another task. So so this play is happening on a particular host, being executed on a particular host. So whenever you say host, it is trying to connect internally with using Ansible, the connection mechanism over SSH. It is going to connect to this particular host. Host means some server, some remote place. Okay. But this one is going to connect to another server. They are not the same. Another server or another host, and performing this particular task. So here it is installing Apache as HTTPD, and here it is installing MariaDB, RDBMS, relational database management system called MariaDB, on this particular server, and it is making the database up. So how simple and how effective. See, in these 2 lines, I have installed an RDBMS by the name MariaDB. how simple and how easy it is. Very easy. I have just taken one module to execute the installation of one database and one web server. So see, in few lines, I have created two different installations in two different servers in one script. Isn't it fantastic? So there are few playbook commands. Like in Terraform also you have some simple commands. This is the beauty, that these tools doesn't complicate your life. Your life is simple. Why? Because everything will be internally handled. You have to give only simple commands like Ansible playbook. This is the command. Basically, this is the main CLI, main executable, Ansible dash playbook. And what is the playbook that you are going to execute? Let's say this is the name of the playbook. First of all, you are checking the syntax, whether the syntax is correct. We will do this. Next, you are running the playbook. You are executing this playbook for its tasks to be installed or tasks to be executed. Or maybe you want to specify a particular inventory. Here, by default, it is hosts. And that is available under etc Ansible host. This file, which is the inventory file by default. But now here you are mentioning that you have the inventory file -i, the inventory file by the name inventory, and it is in the same folder as where you are executing this particular executable in the same folder. So here it is inventory, and you will execute this playbook with the help of this inventory. So inventory will give you the list of hosts where you want to connect. Okay. Very, very simple things. Now, as I told you, there are modules, Ansible modules. I will not go into too much details, but Ansible modules are discrete units of code that can be used from the command line or inside the playbook to make some modification on the target node or gathering some information from the target node. Some modification, or you can say some configuration things that you can do easily, some modifications and configurations. Configuration can be anything and everything, like installing the patches, updating the software, removing the software, installing the users or IAM users. So many things can be done. Modifying the username, giving you permissions on a particular file, transferring the files, copying a file from one server to the other server, executing a file on the remote server. So there can be a lot of configuration things that you can do on the target node. And also you can get you will attach to, or you will connect from the Ansible master. See, everything will be done from the Ansible master. There is no cluster and there is no agents that will be running on the nodes. Nodes are the slaves, the hosts. Node 1, node 2. So the master, there is no two-way communication. It is always a one-way communication. It is a push model. Remember, we have not the pull model, no pull model. So it is only one way. So everything will be controlled from the master, Ansible master. Here we will install Ansible on the master, and we will take control, or we will connect to that host using the key called hosts and give the host name. And that details will be accessed over inventory file. The inventory file that you have designed for this particular connection. So you can do some activity over here through the modules. So you will push a module, you will use a module to be pushed onto the nodes and get executed. So Ansible executes each module on the remote target node and collects the return values. And also maybe you are using some module to check the status of a particular file or a particular software over into that node. So you can gather information. Okay. Query something. Ansible executes each module on the remote target node and collects return values. Ansible modules are also known as task plugins or library plugins. It's up to you. Library plugins are global and this one is local. So that plugin that you are using cannot be used when it comes out of this task. So when the task ends, that local plugin or the local module gets stopped. But whenever you are calling something global modules, then it can be used in any task, whether the task begins or you enter the task or you end the task. The plugins always remains. That's why it is global. There are some most important Ansible modules that are frequently used to automate different tasks. Automation. Why we use Ansible? We want to do automation. And whenever you will be using some CI/CD pipeline, you will see the role of Terraform and Ansible and Docker and Kubernetes. All they are working on the CI/CD pipelines to automate some tasks, various processes, automation of the process. There are modules for checking host and target node called ping. You can ping from one node to the other node and check whether the node is active or not. So if the ping is successful, that means you know that you can connect to that host. So you can use a ping module. Module that can fetch information from the target node. Setup module. You can use a setup module to gather the information of that particular host. Sometimes you may need what is the operating system being used there. Whether there is Python installed over into that particular host. So with the help of setup module, you can check. Modules for managing existing package and installing new packages called YAM. YAM is for Red Hat type of machines. APT is for the packages for Ubuntu machines, Ubuntu group of machines. Or better to say, there are two groups in Linux world: Red Hat group, the family, and the Debian family. So Ubuntu Linux machines are, or operating systems are, under the Debian family, whereas Red Hat, CentOS, Red Hat belong to the Red Hat family. So Red Hat family package, the package managers is called YUM, YUM, and these are called APT, Ubuntu family or Debian family. So APT is very popular. YUM is also very popular. They are packages like you have Chocolatey for Windows, package manager, and Homebrew for whom? For whom? Package manager for whom? Mac OS. Okay, so these are package managers. Similarly, you can use the package managers called yum, apt. These are as module and as well as package. Sometimes you may use package called simply as package, module as package, because you do not know the host that you are connecting, whether there is Ubuntu or there is Red Hat. So there is an abstraction layer. You do not need to know specifically whether it is the Debian family or the Red Hat family. So you do not need to be specific about apt or yum. You say, I just will use a module called package, and I will install the packages, whether it is apt or yum, doesn't matter. This package will help me do that. Is that clear? And there are so many modules for running basic commands and scripts on the target nodes, like raw, command, shell, script. These are all modules to run your CLI commands on the host machine. Any question? Modules are small programs that will help you. You do not need to create or reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. You just use it. It has all been provided for you to use. Is that okay? Now, I have given a list of modules that are very widely used, very commonly used, like ping. I will show you ping. I will show you the use of apt. There is no scope to show you apt key. So how will you install the license keys? Use this module. And how will you install the repository of a particular package? You will use the app repository. So these are various. You do not have to do anything else. You just give it to the module and just give the parameters. That's all. Taken care by the module. Like you want to install some, and we will have a demo of Apache, installing Apache on a host. So how will you do? We will use the app module. Similarly, yum module. If we were using Red Hat operating system, we will be using yum module. Package, as I told you, how to use packages. Pip, Python packages. If you want to install any Python packages, Python modules, you will use pip module. Okay. NPM, all the Node.js. There is, I don't want to go into that details because it is not of any use to you right now. But just try to understand that there is an NPM module through which you can do a lot of Node.js activities, or the built-in module for Node.js. Of course, it is not a built-in module when you install Ansible. So NPM has to be installed separately for using the Node.js packages. Shell, if you want to execute the shell commands, you can use shell module or command module or script module. There are 3 forms of modules, any one you can use. Generally, people use command, because with the command module, you can directly use, let's say, I want to any Linux command, any shell command. So let's say I want to move source file to the destination file. That means I want to rename a file. What will I use? Command module. I don't have to give anything else. I just have to say MV. MV is a Linux command. I'm directly executing this shell command using this module over Ansible. Okay, so I will rename a file source file on the target on the host node into some other name. So I'm trying to rename a file. Say I want to rename a file called um, uh, hosts.in file to my hosts.in. What I will do, I will simply do with mv. Before that, so mv host.in and just say give a space, say my host.in, but that has to be followed, or that has to follow after you have given the module within the Ansible YAML file. Is that okay? So similarly, you can use copy a file from the local to the remote. Fetch, you can fetch a file. You can get a URL, like you are fetching a URL and then you are executing that URL. File. So you can do all sorts of file module. Like you can create files, you can create directories, you can delete files and directories, you can create soft and hard symbolic links. These are all Linux fundamentals. So I will always advise, please try to be very good in Linux for a DevOps role. You cannot avoid learning Linux as well as cloud. These two are the basic thing. A DevOps guy must know cloud very well, Linux very well. Okay. So there are templates that you can do. You can use the Jinja 2 templates, and now there is Jinja 3. Instead of 2, there is Jinja 3 templates. So you want to move a, a collection of variables from one machine to the other machine and modify accordingly, according to that OS platform of that host. So many things can be done. It's an absolutely wonderful tool. Find, replace, line in file, service. Service is another very important module. User, you can create users. Cron job, you can run cron jobs using the cron module. So many. Any questions up to this? Is anyone there?
There.
Yes, I'm there.
Oh, I was just wondering whether is anyone there or not. Okay,
I'm here.
great. Yeah, great. So what I do? So this makes your life simple. I have used Chef. That's why I can see the difference between Ansible. Learning Ansible is quite simple. Whereas to learn Chef, I will show you. I will use only 4 commands, and my Ansible installation will be completed. Whereas in Chef, I usually need 2 hour session to complete a Chef installation with the creating of the cluster. Unnecessary requirement or unnecessary complicating the life. No need. I can do the same thing. All the functions that I can do in Chef, I can do simply in much simpler way in using Ansible. So why do I need to go for complicacy? I will now skip this particular thing that is a very important. After modules comes the roles. Roles is like you are making some modules, but this in form of roles makes it much more modular. So, and once you make the things, because see, if you are using playbook, the playbook can go very large. If you are giving, say, hundreds of play within one playbook, is it good? See, the basic principle in any software like for any developer, developers never try to create large files. They always break up into modules. Modular, modular, modular programming. That's why object-oriented programming, oops, came into the picture, because nobody is interested to write procedural like in COBOL, like in C, like in C++. You used to not C++ is fine. C++ is still you can do lots of object-oriented programming. But let's say C, let's say Fortran, COBOL, they were very procedural. You have to write everything in one big code. No way. You can break up, but breaking up and then linking up the files is a Herculean task. Whereas with the use of OOPS and modular, you can have reusable modules. That is, as and when you need on demand, you will call each small block of program called from the library in form of modules. So you call this. So you break it up. That's why we say you have a role. Role organizes the playbook. So one role, Ansible playbook organizes tasks. Playbook, you organize the tasks. One playbook, there are several plays, and within each play there can several tasks. That way you have organized the playbook, but this is one playbook, one playbook. Now Ansible roles organizes playbooks. So if you can work with roles, that means you are working with multiple playbooks. And therefore multiple tasks in modular form. This is a concept. This is a concept, and this is how you need. So the role simplifies writing complex playbooks. See, the playbook, if you write everything in a playbook, it becomes too complex. That is not desired. So what you do, you break the playbooks into roles and call it, because it is reusable. So call it as and when needed. You do not have to call the entire playbook for one simple task. So you call that role for that particular task. That's all. And the roles combine to executing the same purpose as complex, like a complex playbook. So why not you use roles? That is the concept. It will not be. It is only possible if I take 1 or 2 sessions particularly dedicated to roles, and that is not the scope, outside the scope. It will not be easier for you to understand that. But roles can enable reusability and can be implemented for the common configuration functionality. Everything is configuration. So whichever is common configuration, let's say you have 4 hosts. In each one of them, there is a simple configuration that you want Java to be installed. Everywhere you want all these 4. It can be 4, it can be 400 hosts. But then you write a role to install Java. So this is a configuration task. So whenever there is a requirement, say now out of this, say here they need they need some say C++, not Java. So you create another role to install C++. So whenever you are connecting to this host, which module will you call? You will not call all the playbooks. You will call only the role that is meant to install C++. So, but for here, for this host, I need, say this host is in India. I need Java. So you will just execute the role which is to install Java. And the same thing can be done for any of those nodes which need Java to be installed or configured. So instead of writing one big playbook where I have one play for Java installation and another play for C++ installation, and then I call this playbook every time I need to install Java. So why should I have a big file like this when I can call a simple role which is to install Java? That's all. That is the beauty of role. Is that clear? I do not stuff everything inside one file. That is a bad programming. Even though it is not programming, but still you're writing a script. Why don't you break it up in modules? That is what you do through roles. Is that clear? The concept? I'm just giving an example. It can be hundreds of those tasks for which it can be common. So every now and then you will be asked to, Debasis, you please, in a Japan server, there are 5 servers in Japan where I need Python to be installed. So why to go and look for this particular file where maybe there is also Python module or Python section for installation? No, I will not. I will look for a role. I must have created a role where there will be an installation of Python. That will be a small file, small role. I will call this role from a playbook. Yes, that's all. This playbook is nothing but a collection of all the roles that you need to call. So whenever you execute this playbook and based on your need, you will call that particular role. That's all. I'm not going to the details of how the roles are structured. Okay, it will take a bit of. So with the help of Ansible Galaxy, we can create the role automatically by using this Ansible-Galaxy. This is the executable init role name. Give any role name. It will automatically create this entire structure. This structure that you are finding over here, it will create for you. Then after that, you will start writing your YAML files, the task files. That's all. So as and when you will execute this role name through a playbook, this particular role will only be executed. That's the beauty. So Ansible Vault is like the security when you learn DevSecOps, okay, or cyber security. And whatever you do with Ansible or the configurations or resources, basically you are working with resources in DevOps. And those resources have to be encrypted, or rather you have to protect those resources. If you are doing, you have done some manipulations or configurations through Ansible, so you can protect those resources using Ansible Vault. So it is like a bank vault. Okay, so to secure the Ansible configurations or the infrastructure resources. Okay, you will secure the Ansible configuration for the infrastructure resources using the Ansible Vault. So basically, you create a vault. You can view the data inside that vault. You can edit the encrypted file within that vault. You can encrypt an unencrypted file. You can decrypt an encrypted file. So whatever you can do it. You can do with these are all Ansible thing. Ansible create vault, and also so you can also ask for the vault password to provide password while running the playbook. So all these things are there. Don't worry. You will gradually learn everything once you start learning it in details. So using the Ansible Vault command, you will be creating a playbook. So this entire playbook YAML will be created in a Vault. So once it is, so it is basically you are saving, this is a Vault. You are putting and putting it inside the Vault. This is the Vault. Okay, then you can view it. So it is not in an ordinary folder, like in a Linux folder. You are not keeping your file because this file is a, let's say, secret file. You don't want to let this be accessed by anyone else. Only you know the Vault password. So you can view the playbook inside the Vault. You can edit the playbook inside the Vault. You can, again, inside the Vault also you can encrypt it. So double security. And then you can also decrypt the playbook before you execute this. And you can also ask for the password. So Vault can give you the password if you're authorized to use. So there is a YAML file that you have created, which will help you to extract the password for you. Okay, so let us start our hands-on. Is that clear? Will that be fine?
Yes, sir.
Hello. So let us do some.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We will do the Ansible, some demo. Let us start that. So for that, what I will do, I will need to go to my Ansible management, AWS. So I will do it over the cloud. Fine. So let me sign in. Let me sign in. Sorry. Let me sign in as a root user. And this is my email ID. Next, I will give my password if I remember it correctly. I will say sign in. Then I have an MFA code. This is called the multi-factor authentication. So my login is correct. I have logged in as a root user inside my account, AWS account. So first of all, I need to go to my EC2 console, EC2 dashboard, and go to my instances. Now, as we have already created one server, remember that we have installed Terraform and done the Terraform session. So we will use the same same server. We will install Ansible over here. Okay. So this will be my master. So let me rename this. So I will say that this is my Ansible master. Ansible master. It is already created. I will just start it up. Okay. So the server is getting started up. It is already running. So what I will do, I will pick up the public IP address and I will go to my putty. I know I have created this one, this session load. I will just change my IP address because the rest, the credentials and authentication credentials are all the same. That is the internship-key-pair.ppk. This was already created in the previous sessions. So I will go there and only this thing I have changed the IP address and I will open it. Let's see. Yes, it is. I can log into that system. So I have already made a profile change. Can you see that this is for my convenience? I've changed the prompt as Ansible master. Okay. Any question? Now, the other day we had already Terraform installed. So let me check whether the Terraform is still there. So I will say which Terraform, and it will show Terraform is still there, or I can say Terraform version. So Terraform version, the highest version is already there installed. I don't need to install. What I will do first of all, before I install, I will go to that particular folder. And here I have, remember that we have created our security group in that provided zone or region of Singapore. And then finally we created our EC2. Let us redo it. So what we have to do, basically what I'm doing, can anybody tell me? This is basically what I'm doing. I have this server. This already created Ansible master. This is the master server. Okay. I already have Terraform installed. And I will install, not yet done, but I will install Ansible over here. I don't need to install Ansible anywhere else. So because it is the master, I will do the installation. I have already Terraform. And now with the help of Terraform, I'm going to create one more server in the same region. So the region is AP Southeast 1. Okay. Which is Singapore. So in the same region, with the help of Terraform scripts, I will create Terraform apply with the scripts that I already have. I will create, first of all, the security group And with that help of security group, I will create this particular EC2 instance. So I will make this as Ansible slave or Ansible node. So basically another EC2 instance I'm going to create. It is not yet available. Okay, but let us first of all do that. So can anybody help me? What will I do? I will simply say, okay, because if you check over here, you won't find anything, any other server, isn't it? Only one server running. I want to create another one as the node or the host. I want to create one more host. So Terraform, first of all, let me validate. It should be fine because it was already working earlier. Success. I am going to use the Terraform apply instead of plan and auto approve. I don't want to stop. So just apply. I know it will work. What will it do? It will execute the SG to create the security group, and then it will create the EC2 instance. So the security group has been created by the name Internship SG internal. This is the ID, and now it is creating the Internship demo server, another server. Okay, now I will go there and refresh it. What will you see? You will see another server has been created. See the advantage of using Terraform. I didn't need to do anything manually. I just run Terraform scripts and my server has been created. Okay, so let me edit this and I will make it, just for my sake of clarity, I will name it as slave or Ansible node, or better make it slave, Ansible slave. There can be hundreds of those hosts. I'm just making one. Is it clear? I'm using the same key pair. You see, I'm using the same key pair. Therefore, I can use the same session to log into this server. Any doubts? I will just copy this. I will go to this and I will go and say new session. I will use the same internship session because I will only change the IP address, because the rest, everything is the same. That is, the key pair remains the same. Therefore, what I do, I will just try to open it. Now you see it is going to another, the newly created server. And the newly created server is having 172.31.26.155. Let me check. You see 172.31.26.155. This is the slave server, Ansible slave. Are you getting me? So let me change the prompt. What I do, I will say PS1 equal to Ansible slave just to change the prompt. And what I did, I saved it, and now I will make it run. And immediately you will see the prompt has changed to Ansible slave, because this is a slave machine. So what we have two machines. One is the Ansible master and the other one is the Ansible slave. Is that fine? Now, what I will do, if you say which Ansible You see, it is not giving. Or if I say Ansible / what, are you following it?
Yes, sir.
So Ansible is not found. Ansible is not there because I have not yet installed. Let me install it. How simple it will be. How simple Ansible installation is. First, always do it on the master, please, because there is no installation needed in any of the slaves, unlike Chef. Sudo apt update. That means I'm updating the app package for any new patches or all those things. This will automatically be done from the cloud. So just I'm refreshing my package with the help of apt module because we are using Ubuntu. Ubuntu is having apt. And I will show you that since Ubuntu comes inbuilt with Python, so Python is already there. Python 3. And Ansible needs Python to be installed. Okay. You do not need to install Python separately because Ubuntu, it comes directly inbuilt. I will install so using apt sudo is the privilege that I can use the apt package with a super user privilege. So I'm using apt because my user is Ubuntu. I'm not directly a root user. So I will use a sudo privilege that is given to Ubuntu using this apt on top of, with the help of apt, I will install the common properties files that are required if it is not already installed. But it is already installed because in Terraform also these common software properties are needed, and we have already installed Terraform. So this already is there. No need to install it again. Next. See, in 4 steps, I was able to install Ansible. So, as simple as that. I am using the public archive, Ansible. This is the main module. That is basically I'm using the apt repository. So I'm using the Ansible repository to be installed over here. Okay, so they are all done. The final step is sudo apt install Ansible -y. That means I do not need to be stopped interactively to answer, yes, I want to proceed. I'm just giving. So what I'm doing, I'm using this app to install the software called Ansible. This is the last step. So you can see that the Python libraries are getting set up for Ansible because Ansible works on Python. It may take a bit of time, but that's fine. See, everything is getting downloaded from the internet. It directly approaches the repository over the cloud, because after all, we are on the cloud itself, on the AWS cloud. That's all. So we have installed Ansible. So how do you verify? So you can say which Ansible. So it will give you the folder where Ansible was installed. And then also you can say Ansible version. It will give you this version, that the Ansible version 2.18.10 has been installed with Jinja version 3. So Jinja 3, the templates are installed. and as well as Python modules. Where are the location? All these things are location. So do not need to go into that details, but Ansible uses the Python library. That is what it is saying. Any doubts up to this point? So what we have done this. We have installed Ansible. Clear? Terraform is already there. We have done the Terraform apply and we have created this EC2 instance, a new server. And now we will use Ansible to do something over here. And for that, we have done the Ansible installation. Now the next step is to see that whether Ansible can connect to this server. How? For that, we need to do something else. So remember, as I told you, it is always a one-way connection. That means Ansible from the master, you have to connect to the slave through SSH. It is not the other way around. So that means I have to generate a key, like the key pair that you have generated over the AWS console for connecting your EC2 instances from outside through PuTTY or from anywhere else. Similarly, now a server is connecting to the other server, so a key has to be generated. This key needs to be shared over here. So this key will be authenticated. So whenever the master will try to connect to the slave, there will be an authentication over this key pair. Key pair authentication, like you have done with PuTTY. So once the authentication will be done, then you are connected. You are connected. Okay, but it is not the other way around. We can do other way around, but that is not needed. So a slave can also connect to the master. It is the mechanism I will show you, but that is not needed. We always, everything will be done over here and everything will be controlled from here, from the master. Because it is, again, I'm saying it is a push module, push methodology. Ansible is always push method. That's why we do not need to install Ansible or Ansible agents over here on the slave. No need. If there are 500 slaves, will you install Ansible on 500? But in Chef, you need to do, because Chef is a cluster. Here, how simple it is. That's why it is simple. Okay, so now our purpose is we need to generate a key pair on the master. Okay, how do you do that? There is a utility under SSH is called the SSH key gen. Before I do that, let me give you a concept. Like there is a folder, hidden folder called .ssh under the home folder. And if you go there, you will see one file called authorized keys. And if you check what is inside the authorized keys, you will see that this is the key pair by the name internship key pair. And that is why you were being able to log in through PuTTY, because you have the same key pair over in your local machine. Either it is Mac or it is Windows. Okay, so this you are using the SSH with that particular RSA encrypted key. With the help of this internship key pair, you are being able to log in from outside and going into this server. So similarly, so this is the authorized keys, which will authorize you authenticate you to go inside and connect. So I will now generate using SSH. Let me clear the screen. SSH keygen. This is a utility with which you can generate a key pair. Now it is generating a public and a private ED25519. This is another encryption like the RSA. This is another type of encryption logic key pair. So enter the file in which you to save the key. I don't want to rename it. So see, can you see it is under the home ubuntu.ssh folder. A file by the name ID underscore ED25519 is created. I don't want to change the name. Enter the passphrase. No. Same passphrase. No. Yeah. So it has generated a key pair. The key has been generated. Okay. And how do you know the key generated? Go to .ssh folder and you say LL or list it. Can you see there is a public? This is the private, but I cannot use the private key for my use. I will always use my public key. So what we will do, we will cat. Okay, so what I will do, I will copy this key pair. Just highlight this and then I go to my slave. See, I am in the slave now. I will again go to .ssh in the under the slave and I will see one file. So I will now what I will do, I will open this file. Similarly, this file is or this server is also getting connected from outside using internship key pair, the same key pair. But I want to have another key pair and I will copy this. Can you see this is the IP address of what? Can anybody tell me what is this IP address for? Which machine do you think? Is it the server, I mean the master or the slave? This key pair was generated where?
Master.
Hello? Anyone?
Slave.
Hello?
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Slave, sir.
No, but did I generate the key pair on the slave or on the master?
No, no. Master, master.
Yes. So because I have put that key pair which was generated in the master in the slave authorized files. So that means my master now can trust that because this server, this slave now has the master key pair. That means the master can trust this, can authorize this, right? That is the whole logic. Now I will save this. This is on the slave. See, it is not on the master. What I did, I copied the key pair from the master after I have generated that from the public key and put it inside the authorized keys of the slave. Is it clear? No, I have nothing to do. So what I will do, I will go back to my master. I will go back to my master. This is my master. Now, another thing I will do is I will go to create my inventory file. And I would like to use the default one, the hosts. So under the Ansible folder under etc, if you go there, if you check, there are why this file was not created. Why was the file not created? the host file. Okay, it doesn't matter. We will create it. Vi. So sudo, because you see these are root. This entire directory is owned by root because it is under etc. So what I will do, I will use sudo vi hosts. It should have created anyway. I don't know why it didn't create. So what I do, I will copy from here these 2 lines. I'm just configuring it. So this is, I'm giving it a name as Ansible master, and the Ansible host, then I will give the IP address. So the IP address of the master is, though I am not going to connect to my master, I'm going to connect to my slave. So what I do, I will copy this slave and come down over here, and for the Ansible slave, and I just paste it. Okay, I can give it as well. So what I can do is, I can use my master as a slave as well if I want to do some activity over the master itself using Ansible. So for that, I need to copy this and put it over here. So using this is my inventory file called hosts. Using this, you see, there is this host file. Okay. So this I will be using it as my inventory file. So what I do, I go back and I am using a module called Ansible -m module ping. Ping is the module that, right? You have learned that ping is one module. I want to go and check whether it is being able to attach or connect to the slave. It should, because my slave now has the key pair within the authorized keys, as well as my slave, my host file knows the slave through the IP address given with the alias name as Ansible slave, isn't it? That was the alias name. You could have directly given the, the IP address. Okay, let me do with the IP address first. I can connect with the IP address directly. Yes, that's fine. But every time I have to know this and write it. So let me check. Okay. Okay, since I have already given my Ansible host a name, so it is asking that the pattern doesn't match with the host file. So what I do, instead of giving this, I will say Ansible slave. So it is asking for the fingerprint matching. Yes. And can you see that the Ansible slave is successfully connected? It has discovered that on the slave also there is Python 3.12, because without Python, I will not be able to execute Ansible jobs, tasks. And this was the key ping, and the response was pong. So the Ansible slave was connected. It can connect. So can I similarly do, because if you see cat etc Ansible hosts, my Ansible host for Ansible master is also given with the IP address. Okay, so can I connect it, like ping it? What do you think? Will I be like, if I say Ansible -m ping, m for module, and what is the module? Module is the ping with which I'm trying to connect to my master. So what is the alias name? Ansible master, Will it connect? Can anybody tell me? Will it be able to connect? If anyone can try and just guess, just give a calculated guess. Will it connect? What do you think? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, maybe, sir.
Okay. The answer is no. I will tell you why. Let's see. It's trying to match the fingerprint. But is there any fingerprint? I mean, was the key pair also copied into the authorized keys file of the master? No. I have copied the key file, the key pair inside the slave, authorized keys of the slave server, but not on the master. You see, I will go there, .ssh, and if you see the VI authorized keys, do you have the key pair which was generated on the master? On the master? No, it is not there. So how will you connect? Therefore, what I will do, I will again cat and copy this entire thing again. And this time I will do it on the master itself. This is the key pair for the master. So the master to connect to itself, it still needs an authentication over the key pair. But the key pair is missing in the authorized keys files. Therefore, I will again do it. So VI authorized keys. And in this, I will go down and copy this and save it. And once I do that, use the same command. It is getting slow. Poor network quality. Just give me 1 minute. There is a connection here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's audible, sir.
Audible, but my network is. So let me again. I have to come out. And open it. See, it has become a bit slow. Now it is fast. So what we were doing is we are trying to make a Ansible connection to the master itself, -m ping Ansible master. Now, will it be possible to connect to the master itself this time?
Yes, now it's
Yes. Can you see? Ansible master was success. Okay. If I had gone to let's say I had made it a remark entry on the master, I have commented it out. Okay. And now I go there and try to connect it. Oh, it is success because it is still finding with the hash. So what will I do? Sorry, there is a known host, so it has captured the host. So I will remove them. rm-f. So now again I will try. It is still getting connected. How it is getting possible? Hmm. Is it holding it into some cache? So we can it should not work. It should not work because it should.
Sir, I think we should end the existing connection, sir.
Which connection?
Like we need to the first instance what we where we have connected, right? We need to end that connection. I think.
No, but it is a new connection. I mean, we have connected it fresh.
Okay, sir.
We're again connecting it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know. It is holding that connection somewhere. Um, Ansible -m ping Ansible master. Yes. Yeah. So somehow the key was getting hold in some cache somewhere. That's why it was being able to use it. Now, since I logged in fresh, okay, that thing has gone. So now it is unable to reach because that is the thing. So if you go there, cd dot ssh, and now you go to cat copy this entire thing and vi authorized keys and just put it in, it will be connected. It will be connected. Okay, so that is the basic funda. Now what I will do, I will make directory just a folder where nothing is there. I will, sorry, cd Ansible. There is nothing else. So what I will do, I will create a playbook. Say playbook1.yaml file. And I will copy this script because now I'm confident that my host will work. So my slave can be connected. So what I will do, I will copy this. I will explain you what I have done. Okay. See, I'm writing an Ansible YAML playbook. So that YAML will always start with a dash dash dash. And then, as I explained you, it is a collection of the block. The block of code is this one, starting with this thing. So it's a collection. That means it's an array of the script. So you give 1, 1, 2, and then start with the main key, hosts. So with the host, you are connecting to Ansible slave. If you somehow miss out, so instead of dash, you give a underscore. Will it match the host file? The alias? No, it will not match. So it will be error. So what we will do, escape U. So it was undone. Ansible dash slave. Become yes. Become method is sudo, and you become a root user. I'm a Ubuntu, but with the help of the become method sudo, I can work as a root user. So become user. So name of the playbook is name : playbook to install Apache web server. Okay, this is a playbook to install Apache web server. Task. Achha, before I do that, I will connect to my slave. Connect to my slave. New session. Internship. Load. Everything is fine. Only the IP address will change. Open it. Okay. And here I'm trying to check. I'm trying to find out whether this host has an installation of Apache web server. Okay, how to check that? I can say which Apache 2. Apache in Debian family, Apache is known as Apache 2. In Red Hat family, Apache is known by HTTPD. Okay, that we have seen. No, it is not there. If I say sudo systemctl, I'm trying to check the status of the server of the application, whether it's running, because it's a service. And sudo systemctl Apache 2. So the Apache 2.service could not be found. So there is currently no Apache web server installed. With this conclusion, I will go back to my master. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to install Apache web server from the master into the slave, because I'm connecting to the slave with the hosts clause. Then the task. So that is the playbook. That is the play. just 1 minute. So the tasks, what I'm doing is I am updating the app package repository on Ansible slave. So I'm using the module. This is a module, APT. And what I'm doing under the apt, What is the command I'm doing? I'm saying update cache, yes. So this is the key, this is the value. Can you believe? Actually, this is the command called, if I had done using the command, I would have done like this. I would have said sudo app update -y. So with the help of, instead of giving this command is not known to me, or this is almost like alien to Ansible. So Ansible uses this app module to update the cache or the package repository, app repository, with the help of this particular sub module called update cache. Actually, this is the module and this is the parameter to do what? Yes. Understood? And then I am doing the next task, which is to install Apache software on Ansible slave. What I'm doing, I'm again using the app module, but here the name is Apache 2 and the state means the version, which version of Apache 2 you want to install. So I'm saying I do not know the version number, but I want to install the latest version of Apache. So that is the state. Then again, the third task, what I'm doing is see, this is how you do the indenting. Indenting is very important. See, so the name, this should be all in white because there was a need of 2 spaces after this dash. There was only 1 space. So therefore it was not, it was coming as blue, but it should have been in white. So this is just a name. This is just a label. It is not a command or a module. So modules and the parameter should come in blue. So just I have given 1 more space. It is correct. So the syntax and indentation of a YAML file is very important. Starting the, I'm giving the, so after the Apache has been installed, I am going to start the Apache service using a module called service. What is the service that I want to start with? The name is Apache 2 and the state should be started. Are you getting me? So it is not only important that you install the Apache server, but it has to be also started at the same time. So we have done both of them. So let's see if it works. So what I will do, so this is the playbook. First of all, I would like to check the syntax. Whether the syntax is very important. So Ansible playbook. Ansible playbook. What is the playbook name? Playbook 1.yaml and -- check syntax. This is the command. Ansible playbook is the executable. Playbook 1.yaml is the name of the Ansible script file that you want to execute. But first of all, I would like to check the syntax. It is like Terraform validate. Oh, the error is not check syntax, syntax check. Sorry, it has given some error. Yes, now it is fine. So see, everything is important. I had given check syntax, whether it should be syntax check. Playbook And if it is giving this, that means it is fine. If I had, say, I had done some mistake. Let's say I have not given the proper indentation. I have given the name outside the, I've given it outside the under, it is not as if it is not under the service. So can I do that? Let's see. And now I do the syntax check again. You see, this is an error. This is not an JSON expectation. JSON doesn't expect, you have to maintain your YAML syntax. So there is basically what it is saying, it is not finding the expected indicator of the code. The error appears to be in line number 17. But maybe, so what is this? This particular thing is the offender. This is not correct because it has to be under the service and under the service module and 2 places towards the right. So what I will do? I will go here. 1, 2. Okay. Now again, I check the syntax. This time it should be fine. Now I will go to the final stage. What I will do? I will say I want to execute it. I can use verbose like 2 times. What is verbose? Verbose is something that I can see what is happening inside. Or you may, I don't want to debug. If there is some error, I will start debugging by using -VB. So you are connecting to this server. This is the Ansible server, the host, that is the slave. So we are going to check the fingerprint. Yes. So it has connected to the Ansible slave. First, OK. Then the task is update the app package repository on Ansible slave. This is the name of the task. It is doing this task, updating the, so basically it is using sudo apt update. So the change has happened on the Ansible slave. Now the next task is install Apache. This is the task name. It is installing the Apache server now, Apache software. It is according to the script. I have given this name. So this was changed. And then it has started the service. The name of the task was starting Apache 2 service, exactly as I have given in the script. And it is saying, OK, Ansible slave. So this one was done. This was a change. This was a change. And this one just starting a service. So it is OK in green. This was connecting to the slave. That was there was no change. So there it was in green. So there are four OKs. All these are OK. 1, 2, 3, 4. All these are OK. There are 2 changes, 1 and 2, because you have installed a package and you have also updated the package repository as well as installed the Apache. So there was a change. There are 2 changes. There was no failure. There was no unreachable. There was nothing skipped, nothing rescued. So can I go to my slave? Now I will check which Apache. Can you see Apache has been installed in a particular folder, Apache 2 under user sbin. And then I can check sudo system status of Apache 2. Now you can you see that it is active and running. Earlier it was not there. I have not done anything over connecting to this. Manually I have not installed over here. What I have done, I have used Ansible modules or Ansible script to do my task. on a different machine, on a different server. I connected to that server or to the host and then did whatever I need to do. So can you see that it is active and running? So what I will do, I will just validate if it is an Apache server. So it is a web server. So I should be able to browse it. So what I do, I will go there and say HTTP// this is the server. And do you know what is the Apache port on which it is running? Because it is an Apache HTTP server. So what should be the port?
80.
80. Very good. Either you can, by default, it is always 80. So either you can say :80 or you may not give anything. You can also say this thing. But it's a good practice if you specify the port. If you press enter, can you see that your Apache is running on Ubuntu? So that proves that your application that you have installed, which is Apache Web Server, is working. Or to verify it further, you go to your slave and you say, I want to stop Apache. This service I want to stop. Okay, then you say status. Now you will see that it is inactive or dead because you have stopped it. So now if I go there and if I refresh it, will it work?
No.
No, unable to connect because the server is down. Apache server is down. So let us make it up again. I will start it. Okay. And let's check the status again. It is active and running. So you go back and refresh it. You will see Apache is there. So we will conclude our. So is that more or less? Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So see, this is a very, very simple example that I have, because that was only in the scope. So we will conclude whatever little that is our objective, that some overview, something that you need to have a good start. So you have got a head start with that awareness of that particular package or that particular tool in DevOps. So Terraform, you have got an idea. First of all, you have got idea on the introduction to DevOps. What are the tools and all those things. Then we have devoted 2 sessions for cloud, AWS Cloud, with some demonstration and all those stuff. It is not in that details, great details, but yes, something. And then we had Terraform, 2 sessions, one with the theory and other with the demo. Okay, and today we have completed 2 sessions of Ansible, one with the theory and one with partially a theory and then with a simple demo. Next, we are going to start Docker. Next, Docker is a very, very important subject. Without knowing Docker, we cannot. It is like without knowing cloud, it is almost impossible to work on DevOps. Similarly, without knowing Docker, it is almost impossible to work on automation and containerization. Okay, so we will learn Docker from the next Saturday. Thank you very much. So Shubhro, will you be able to stop the live session? I will stop the recording over here.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben, Shravani, and Prasad, for your absolute patience, because as it is, people are not joining. And even if they join after half an hour or so, they also tend to leave. I know it's a boarding